But I do have this thing called the Levia Curse. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
You've heard of the Leviathan?
Yeah.
So apparently this thing is related to the Leviathan in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know if you know this, but they said that they have found some giant sea creature. Well, Jacques Cousteau found something under the oceans, and I think it was in the Mariana Trench or whatever, or Bermuda Triangle, somewhere.
Yeah,
I know those are those two completely different areas, but somewhere around there. Well, they have found something else recently that kind of resembles that, and I got a couple of TikTok videos about it, so I'm gonna pull those up here. One second.
Leviathan. So like God of War, that would be like the world serpent, right?
Basically, the world serpent, which they show in which is in pretty much. Well, it's not in all religions, but it's in a lot of religions. Every religion talks about a serpent, though. Every religion talks about a serpent.
Is
and we know the Norse
serpent in Christianity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Leviathan. That's the serpent. That's
Leviathan.
The serpent.
Yep.
That's the Christian serpent, and then the Norse serpent that encircles the world. And then the Hinduism, they talk about
the world serpent. Yeah.
The world serpent. Yep. Hindu, they talk about a serpent. I don't know what Buddha does. Buddha's not necessarily a religion. That's more so a practice than anything. But yeah, a lot of different religions talk about serpents. So so this is called the. I don't know if this is the Leviathan. I think this is the thing that the Leviathan is trying to protect us from. But don't quote me on that. So I'll share the video here real quick.
Okay. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
All right. So check this out.
Creature that was revealed when Moses parted the Red Sea. Nobody knows that Moses accidentally revealed this creature, and many people say that this was the creature that God did not allow Noah to bring onto the ark. The creature has not been seen since this day. However, people are beginning to believe that it is due to return in the near future. Some believe at some point in 2025, but others believe it could be in hundreds of years, so we will not have to worry about this in our lifetime. Save this video to come back to when it happens. This creature is full of rage and anger, looking to get revenge on how it was treated by God. This creature has been trapped since this day, left to be alone for all these years because it was seen as too dangerous for humanity. God saw this creature as a threat to humanity and had to banish this creature from being saved in order to protect all of us. There is only one thing that can release this creature from its shackles, and the reason people believe it could happen in 2025 is because of the recent events that have been taking place. Do you know which events I'm talking about? Leave it in the comments. And if you want to know the one thing that can free this evil creature, press on share, on more, and then comment part 2, and I will reveal the answer. This is the creature revealed.
Come on, man. Whatever.
But wait, there's more.
Shit.
There's a part 2. There's a part 2. So let's see what the Levia Curse has to say about part 2. So
all right,
let me throw this up here. Look at Shadi taking over again. All right, let's get it.
Our last Christmas because Leviathan's biggest rival is set to return in 2025. You're going to want to save this video to come back to when this event occurs. The creature that God banished from Noah's Ark has come to get revenge, and God and Leviathan may be the only beings able to stop this creature. This is the Levia Curse, Leviathan's biggest rival, and they are both set to return in 2025 to have their last fight. Some people believe it is to see who God will spare for the rest of eternity. However, others say this is not anything to do with God, and is just to settle their rivalry that they have both had for tens of thousands of years. If the Levia Curse and Leviathan both return to our planet, this would be horrific for our ocean wildlife, as a fight to the death between these creatures would result in millions of ocean animals being caught in the crossfire, and potentially causing some species to go extinct. This is also only if the fight lasts less than a couple of minutes. Nobody knows how long it will last, but it is believed believed that their fight all those years ago lasted weeks. So if it is anything like their last fight, the whole world would be put in complete danger. If you want to know who wins, comment part 2 and press on share, and then more to see the Levia Curse up close.
So I'm pretty sure this is all cap, but I found it interesting.
Yeah. And have the battle of the Titans in the ocean. We're gonna have Godzilla and the
Godzilla
sea
versus
snake.
Kong or whatever the
Like,
hell that
yeah, damn near.
thing.
Hey,
So
low key though, if that's true, we're in danger. But I mean, and it's weird about like the Chinese not horoscope, but Chinese New Year's is that they have all like living creatures. Like they have the year of the dog, year of the snake, year of the whatever, and they have the year of the dragon. It's like they have
right,
all these real animals except for the dragon's not real. I
right,
don't know,
right.
man.
Make it make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense. And then dragons are talked about on pretty much every continent.
Every continent
Eh,
had dragons.
Yeah, yeah, before we had the worldwide web, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
this goes back into to ancient times. They're talking about dragons, slaying dragons and this and that. So what is that? You know?
They said that they think there's still dragons in some mountain range. That there's caves. I forgot. I was watching something. There's caves somewhere, and like it's so remote that humans can't get to them. And
Mhm.
there's dragons somewhere in that area. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah,
man. It is an
yeah,
interesting creature that is always talked about in every culture.
yeah, yeah. Did you see the one? It was probably AI. People were saying it's AI. The dragon that was curled up on the Empire State Building. You see that picture?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Pretty
AI,
creepy.
but
Yeah. Um, I listened to a YouTube that mentioned, I think they're in Scotland or something like that. They had seen like a giant winged bat entity or creature in the sky,
mhm.
and it wasn't just him, but like other people in his community had seen the same creature, and he's like, like I wouldn't be surprised if they start saying that dragons are real. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I've been hearing that a lot, so
yeah.
mm,
And think about it though. Like, I mean, with the technology that we have and our masters of the sky and all that, dragons wouldn't pose any threat to humanity whatsoever.
I
Like
don't think so. But
whatsoever. Like an F-15 could take that thing out just like that. But um, it's still pretty cool. I think it's pretty
depends on
cool.
how
So
big the dragon is too.
touche. I mean, because if a dragon is as big as the mountains that you're talking about, that's different. It's have you heard of the Draconians?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, alien
The-
race.
yeah, the alien race that are reptilian.
Yeah, they talk about how
So
they're like in our government and they're the
yeah,
ones prepping our government and shit. Yeah.
yeah, they're the evil ones basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, don't like humans. They use us for food, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Um, this video, this lady, she's talking about them, about black draconians. So I wanted to get your take on this. Let me know what you think. Oh, I gotta unmute it.
Stick with me. I'm about to show you why. Before we get started, let me just say this. I might be about to really trigger some people. So if you feel like you want to get real disrespectful, go ahead and scroll now because I would really dislike if you were in the comments arguing with yourself. Only time people feel they need to argue is when they feel they need to prove themselves.
So let's just put
I'm
this out
not
here
doing
right
that
now.
for anybody. Well, that is, of course, outside of what I'm about to show y'all right now. So before I get y'all the facts, let me make some things make sense to y'all through symbolism. Y'all know how in the music industry there's some rap beefs going on, particularly everybody teaming up against Drake, right? Drake is
Right.
also associated with Draco, Draco being draconian, draconian being a reptilian. Okay, so now keep that in mind. Now think about the dragon that was on the Empire State Building not too long ago.
Oh, we're
And
just talking
everybody was
about
like,
that.
oh, that was just for a movie promo. Remember, everything is symbolism. Well, let's just say this. In my mind, TikTok, Everything is symbolism. For those who don't know, Draco in Latin means dragon. If you've seen any of my previous videos talking about the sun being God, then you are familiar with the concept of the feathered serpent. The feathered serpent is the creator of the monotheistic system, the Atlanteans, Sumerians, and Lemurian, aka the copper-colored people, aka black people, so-called black people. Just hold on, I told you I'm gonna make it make sense. Now you have a brotherhood of the Dracos, aka the dragons, and the feathered serpents. Mythology, the serpent represents many different things, but the serpent also represents the copper color race. They're also referred to as the Naga serpents. You may have heard the Naga people. This is how the derogatory term for black people came about. They changed it from Naga to y'all know the rest. Okay, so with all that being said, with us
I don't know if
knowing
that's
who
true,
wrote
but
the Bible,
Right.
does it now make sense as to why the serpent was depicted as evil? The serpent represents immortality, aka black don't crack. That's why you always hear that term. Way back in the day, the Anunnaki guys used to walk amongst the ones depicted as the serpents. They began merging DNA. Let me say this. Copper colored people have DEA, deoxyetheric acid. All other races have DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. These molecules in
I
our
don't know
cells
how much of
contain
that is
genetic
true.
information about us.
Yeah, she
This is
had
where
the
blood
same.
come into play because the Rh negative blood is said to be reptilian blood. Anunnaki gods started interbreeding with the copper color race, aka the feathered serpent people. So in my previous video, when I talked about Elohim, aka many gods, this is what I was referring to. You had many Anunnaki gods that were creating different species or different races of people, hence the reason for different blood types. Now bringing it back to the symbolism, especially in the music industry, this is where the they not like us come into play. They not like us can be interpreted many different ways. It can be interpreted on a scientific level, on an esoteric metaphysical level, or on a physical level. So to bring it full circle, in the Bible, when they talked about being created in God's image, they were talking about mankind, a kind of man. Copper colored people are considered sons of God, God's son, because we are the people of the sun. When the Anunnaki merged or interbreeded with the copper colored race and created other races, that is where that Bible verse comes into play. You were created in our image, which means that you have us within you. So to answer everybody's question who's been DMing me and also putting it in my comments, did every race start off as black? No. Does every race have black within them? Yes. So-called black. Yes, because of eugenics. Now that we have all this cleared up, I'm going to go ahead and play a clip by
She's
B-Dell, who
going
I
in.
love listening to.
Boy,
He's going to break down who's really running the show. It's just when you think you know, you have no idea. Because trust me, when I found this out, I was flabbergasted. Before I play this clip, though, I think it's important to know, if you haven't watched my Son is God series, I truly urge you to do so. I also have a video breaking down my interpretation of the 144,000 and how that is a frequency. In order to reach that frequency, you have to reach true enlightenment. True enlightenment is the understanding that everything is you and you are everything. It means you are not separate from anything or anyone. Which also means that whatever I just told you about who was created by who, at the end of the day does not matter. For anyone who thinks that it does, that is root chakra energy. I used to be just like that. I think the sooner that people realize that identifying people by their skin color is something that is brand new. That is Western civilization behavior. And it was brought about to keep people divided so that the entities in the next clip that I'm about to show you can continue pushing forth their agenda. It's just important to give y'all the facts. It's important to know where we come from, to know where we're going. Now let's get into this clip.
Today we're going to be breaking down the complexities of the esoteric infrastructure of the black nobility, who are black faces who hide behind a perception of the European power structure in the matrix system through eugenics programs, economic disenfranchisement, dehumanization, and Eurocentric theology that takes you away from your sovereign capacity as an indigenous person in the geographical landmass of America. So as I told you before, the unseen hand is the hidden hand, and the hidden hand is the black hand, and the black hand is the black nobility, right? So all throughout ancient history, all they did was a bait and switch. They did a bait and switch and gave you the false perception of Europeans being in power when really it's the black nobility who are black faces, right? So right here, you're looking at Charles V was actually a swarthy man, right? So all they did was a reverse of frequency, right? Inverted knowledge. In biology and microbiology, you would know that you get the recessive from the dominant. You don't get the dominant from the recessive. So
facts.
you have to understand that they got their concepts of and ideologies of white supremacy from black people who was already on the planet way before them, because they wasn't created until 4086 BC, right? So now we're going to get into some theological context, because all this is basically prophetic, right? Now, when you go to the L's Holy Injil, which is basically a transliteration of the book of Revelation, and you go to Revelation 17:17, right? It says verbatim that the evil reptilian that is going to give their kingdom to the beast. Now, who is the beast, right? The beast is basically the personification of the Canaanite bloodline who was cursed with leprosy. And these are also connected to the Flugerod bloodline, who have 6 ethergenetical properties that has the same DNA sequence as animals, right? So that's why I said, like, the beast is basically a personification of the cursed bloodline. The evil reptilian is the personification of the black nobility who are connected to the jealous god Enlil, right? The 200 fallen angels.
So as y'all can see, nothing is what it seems. And as Bidel said, everything is inverted, which just means when they tell you it's up, it's really down. So in our mind, we thought that the 13 families were the ones running the show, when in reality it's the black reptilians. So in my previous video where I talked about them walking amongst us every single day, that's absolutely true, because we are them. If you know about duality, you know that there's good and bad in all things. So yes, while you have some negative reptilians, you also have benevolent reptilians. This is why they consider part of your brain the reptilian brain. Reptilian brain controls our instinctive behaviors, such as sex, aggression, and power. 3 very things that we see in our society on a daily basis. As I mentioned to y'all previously, the true way to enlightenment is through love. So whether you're an original being created by grandmother Aya herself, or if you were created by the Anunnaki gods by the way of eugenics, the true and only vibration is love. So instead of worrying about who created what or who was here first, come to the realization that you will never be free with that mindset. When you really open your eye, you will see we are all fighting the same entities. That within itself should wake.
Okay, so anyways, man, what are your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, she brought up
You're
the
like,
brother.
which-
He said how we have basically how we have genetic historic connection to America, and they never brought that into the conversation. Y'all, I don't know what she's trying to do. She I don't know what her plan. I don't know what her goal was was about. It just jumped around.
It did jump around a lot. It did jump around.
It
She
jumped
tried to
around.
connect it and bring it full circle and all that, but
He threw a lot of big words out there. Like, he threw a lot of big words out there, but none of it really like stuck to what he was saying. He said how we have a connection to America through a Noah bloodline, and then talked about how things were reversed off the frequency. She didn't really talk about the 144 frequency. Not really. It just y'all. It was a lot of words. And her message is there. And that's true. We are connected.
Yeah.
We all are connected. I agree with that, but it was a lot of words selling, y'all. All that black reptilian shit. I don't know about that. I have to do my research, but Anunnaki,
right?
I can understand that. But
Yeah.
she don't. Yeah, that was, a lot of it was a bunch of bullshit. Wish you could. I would talk to her about it if she was to talk about it, but you're just doing a lot of words salad, lady. If you're not really saying anything.
It's kind of one thing. You have to break that type of stuff down into layman terms, and they weren't necessarily doing that. The brother
if
who
you want to
talking
go
about
back, we can go. We could do it if you want to go back and do it. We could. I don't want to, but we could. We could break down what she was trying to say, but like it didn't like it. She was trying to make it even. Oh yeah, like melanin's great, but we're all connected, and then the evil ones are. Whatever.
That's like which reptilians? Like
what's the bad ones?
So the black ones are the good ones, and the non-black ones are the bad ones.
But benevolent ones are. And I'm like, wait, so which ones are the? You're not making. And then we all have black reptilian in us, so we're all kind of bad. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. And then the world didn't start with black people, but there are black people in all of us. So it's like, but how did the, yeah. Yeah, she kind of went back and forth. But I did find it very interesting. Now that I wish that guy would have broken down the Canaanites. The Canaanites were people of Cain's bloodline. I wish he would have would have explained that. Those people of Cain's bloodline. The story of Cain and Abel, and Cain, killed Abel, and
Yeah.
God cursed them, and kicked them, put him out from whatever, and he had to go, but he went and multiplied and had a bunch of kids, and they had kids and blah blah blah. But anyway, that's the cursed family bloodline. I don't think his name is Cain anyway, it's something else. But they changed the name and all that stuff. So
Because because we're all from Africa, so like I don't. So like,
all
what are you
of us.
talking about, lady?
Yeah, every single one of us. At least that's what the science says right now. We're talking about this civilization of man, this mankind, this kind of man. You gotta study the words. Why would they say mankind? Why would they say humankind?
Yeah, we're different.
Right.
Yeah, we're a little bit. Melanated people are a little bit different. I mean, I have to agree with that.
Yeah. So,
and I think, yeah, I don't know, bro. What do you like? What do you think about the whole like? I don't believe like white people. I think white people went to a northern climate and and they changed over time. But like, I don't really look at them. I don't know, bro. I mean, it's like I don't know. I'm gonna shut up.
Don't know. I have no idea. I think that from like what we're taught in school, like that historical timeline, it just doesn't make sense. Like because it takes millions of years to evolve like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Evolution takes millions and millions and millions of years. Well, the Bible says that we're only like 6,000 years old or something like that.
Sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And then you got these new studies saying that human DNA is 9 billion years old, but the Earth is only 4.5 billion years old.
Hold on. Before we say that according to Moore's law, based off that evaluation, based off how we evolve, we should be about 9 billion. It's not really like a fact yet.
No, it's just data.
That's the data that will, if you use Moore's law and based on how our DNA has replicated, that's what it should be.
Right.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I want to clarify that.
Oh, thanks for clarifying that. Yeah.
Some people will be like,
just data.
That can't be real. That can't be real. Look at Google. It'll say 400,000 years old. I mean, that's sure based off our known history. That's what we know. What our DNA is telling you based off this equation or based off this law, we would be this like the first human would be the first human born would be 9 billion years ago, which is older than Earth. So
right. And also there's data showing that the moon is about 9 billion years old too, which is older than Earth. And so the theory that the moon was created from the Earth, it goes against that. Again, it's just data. That's it. We don't know if it's fact, but
there's theory that the moon was older or not, or there's data that the moon was older. What do you think?
Whatever the rocks that they brought back, that's what the people that I've listened to recently are saying. I don't know if it's true. They're saying that's what the data says on the rocks that they brought back from the moon, which was back in the 60s when they did the moon landings.
The moon is much older than we thought. They're not saying the moon is older than Earth.
Yeah,
Google search.
Regular science isn't saying that. It's just what these folks that I was talking about. Regular science is not going to tell you that.
Maybe can you give me the theory that made that? Because Moore's law is true. Like when I looked up the whole DNA thing or how long we've been on Earth, right? It's gonna say 400,000 years old. But according to Moore's law, we are like when you look it up on Google, so Google ain't gonna tell you when you got when you're onto something. It's crazy. Just like when we talk about the other stuff we talk about.
Right.
It's gonna kind of give you like, you know, it's gonna tell you the whole truth. It's like, yeah, there's some theory to that. Like, well, that's
Right.
weird that we don't talk about that. Like the Book of Enoch.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And again, the Book of Enoch. That's not like they took that out of the Bible
We don't know
canon.
why. We don't
And
know why.
we don't know why. So and so I think this was the video where they're talking about the moon. Hold on. Might be able to tie all
Yeah,
this together. So this guy goes for a while, so just hang in there with this. I think he's the one that says it is 9 billion
they're
years
saying the
old,
moon is 4.46 billion.
which is basically the same age of the
Be the
Earth.
same age as the moon. The minute the Earth, I mean, not the moon, the same age as Earth. Like the minute the Earth was made, the moon was made.
That well, I mean, you could say it's the same age because
They say the Earth and the moon formed together.
yeah, they're saying they're saying the pieces of the Earth whenever
Hold up.
the Earth was coming together, they're saying that it formed together. That doesn't sound right to me though.
But that wasn't the theory before. That wasn't. So that's new information. So I've been growing up as a kid, the moon was formed after a gigantic meteorite hit the moon, hit the
Hit
Earth.
yep, same.
So that's not a thing anymore. Now I was
No.
saying when Earth was formed, the moon was formed, which makes no sense. So yeah, let's run this and yeah.
So let's
I love
run
shoddy
this.
takeover. Let's get it. All right.
The shoddy takeover. I love it. Everything that starts to connect. All right. So check this out. I think they said it from 30 years ago. I don't know. We don't vet this. You know what I'm saying? I just found it interesting, and he had some pretty interesting theories about the moon. And I think he mentions the age of the moon in this video. Don't quote me on that, but let's check it out.
The moon was brought here 12,000 years ago. Our moon is in fact an artificial satellite. It is not a real planet. It can literally leave our orbit underneath its own power. According to the Andromedans, it was brought here from Ursa Minor.
So the Andromedas is a race of beings that he got this information from, a different life form from another galaxy, Andromeda.
Okay.
So
All right.
there you go.
From a star system called Chauta that had 21 planets in it. It belonged to the 17th planet and it was one of 4 moons. Now, there are ruins all over it. The map is there. There are some pictures there. There's a lot more, which I don't have today. But it will be coming out. This is why the Apollo astronauts stopped going back. And it's because there was somebody already there and they were told not to go back. This information is out there. Okay, our moon is 9.1 billion years old. 9.1 billion years old. It is in fact older than the Earth. Okay, many of the materials that have been found on the moon, minerals, don't exist on our planet. The moon did not belong to part of the Earth. It was brought here, literally. Our solar system has 8 artificial moons in it. The moon was brought here 12,000 years ago.
All right. I thought this was the longer clip, but this one's short. So yeah, he did mention it in that.
There's minerals on the moon that isn't on Earth.
That's what he's saying. Like you
You're
go
not saying that's true.
you go to some type of science catalog. They will say that's BS all day. You talk to a dad who loves astronomy and stands on that on their data and whatever they come up with, not whatever they come up with, but their data. I mean, these guys have been. Dad's all about astronomy, and he hates when I talk about astronomy because he's just like, you don't know enough about astronomy to talk about it. And he's right. I don't. He's all over that.
So according to Google's AI, when I asked if there are minerals on the moon that's not on Earth, it says yes. While the moon shares many minerals with Earth, it contains minerals significantly higher concentrations that are considered rare on Earth. So
That's saying the same thing, right? It's basically saying yes, it contains the same as on Earth.
The AI said yes. The AI said essentially yes. The minerals that aren't on Earth.
That aren't? Okay. Well then,
yes.
There you
more
go.
Higher concentrations that are considered rare on Earth.
And not because the moon, could be because the moon doesn't have an atmosphere. So, that type of being in that environment may change.
I agree. I just wonder why would that even matter? Like, why would that bother? A mineral is a mineral. I don't think minerals change. Yeah, they do. They
I
do.
would think they would.
Yeah, they change. That's